Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we are working with the beautiful super full moon. It was an Aries full moon on Monday, the 6th of October. And it's the first of 3 super moons. So we are working with these incredible energies, and we're going to jump right in. Welcome, Kiki. So let's just take a look at our main energies. So October is a 10 month, so it's treading, cautious advance. And then we have uniting, unite, which was a big theme last year. And then we have double nines, small restraint, surrender. And this is, again, about how we move through, how we surrender to ourselves, to our soul source connection, and how we keep moving with conscious awareness. And then we're going to be working with hexagram 18, decay, remedy, in which we've had this. It's about repairing what's spoiled. Welcome, Alicia. So, welcome, Sue. And so as we look at this is the chart for the Aries full moon that occurred on Monday. It was late in the evening on Monday the 6th into the early morning hours going towards Europe and so forth. And instantly when I looked at the inner workings, the oppositions, the squares, the trines, the sextiles, all of these astrological aspects, I immediately heard, and this is our astrological influences, I heard WHAM, BAM, KAPOW. And instantly I had Batman and Robin in my head, in my energy and so forth. So it's this Batman and Robin energies. And wham, pow, boom, kapow refers to a series of onomatopoeic words, with pow specifically being a classic sound effect from the 1960s Batman TV series that would appear on screen during fight scenes, often accompanied by wham or bam or kapow. The phrasing evokes the dynamic comic book style action of the show, where this phrasing would show up as a visual for auditory cues that enhance the energetic fights. And thereby, welcome, Colleen. And this was between Batman, Robin, and their villains. So the message from the unseen with this Aries full moon, it's a super moon and everything, the energies from this and everything, is literally, it's like the Cape Crusaders in Gotham City coming to battle the villains. And thereby, this is the energy. I'm just bringing up the chart really quickly again. So with this Aries full moon, we've got this message of wham, bam, kapow, where Batman and Robin, the energies of that, the Cape Crusaders, on behalf of the city, Gotham City, the world, are fighting the villains. And with that, we have, with the astrological energies of and building up into this Aries full moon, we have Mercury square, that's a confrontational aspect, Jupiter, and Mercury square Pluto retrograde. So, and Pluto is getting ready to station direct coming up. So we have a lot of interesting energies playing out here on behalf of, it's like, the battle, this constant battle of light versus dark. And yet, from all references, like religious references, the Bible, the Quran, all of these different historical and biblical or religious references all speak to the light prevailing. Well, this is Batman and Robin prevailing against the villains. And welcome, Colleen. And Colleen is saying it was a huge night last night. Yes, these energies and everything that are taking place, there's a lot happening here. And so I want to move into our main theme. And it is peace prevails. It's just a matter of time. Lion medicine. And what was very interesting about this, and we'll work with lion medicine in the episode here, and we're going to be working with lion medicine. So as we move forward, the interesting aspect about this, though, peace prevails. We've been speaking a lot about peace be with you. It's both a greeting, but it was also this message. So the Unseen, through the Weekly Wisdom and Insights shows, has been saying this phrase, peace be with you. And it was about how after the crucifixion, the resurrection, the remaining apostles were in a room with the door locked, somewhat protecting and hiding themselves for safety, and Master Jesus appeared. And so while it's both a greeting, a salutation, a greeting, it's also this message of, I'm always with you. The divine, the unseen is always ever present with us. Peace prevails. We know this. This Gotham City, Batman and Robin energies, peace prevails. Here's the interesting part. It's just a matter of time. That can be taken quite simply and literally. It's just a matter of time, meaning, and we hear that phrase all the time, it's just a matter of time. It takes time for these things to play out. There was also this aspect of matter and time. So time and matter, matter and time, are fundamental concepts in physics, inextricably linked through the fabric of space-time, which is influenced by the presence and motion of matter. Einstein's theories of relativity demonstrated that space and time are not fixed, but are a four-dimensional continuum that can warp, bend, and stretch due to mass and energy. Consequently, the motion of matter affects the flow of time, and matter's distribution dictates the curvature of space-time, which we perceive as gravity. So while that's a little complex and physics and so forth, the point that the unseen is making is when matter is influenced or altered, it alters our perception of time, of reality. And thereby peace prevails. It's just a matter of time. It denotes a period of time, air quotes, and yet an adjustment of matter and time. And so again, we've been talking about this, and the pole, how Earth's axis is at 23.5, it's off center by that, the poles shifting. So there's a message here that about the physics, about the greater arc and power that affects us all. We can easily identify with that with Mother Nature. Man builds and constructs and does all of these marvels and engineering feats, and Mother Nature comes and just wipes them out. It's a force greater than ourselves. So peace prevails. It's just a matter of time is speaking to a force greater than ourselves that will affect matter. It will affect time, and thereby at that moment, peace prevails. it's also something for us to, be in alignment with, that be our truth, because of course everything's energy. So the more that we are in alignment with peace prevailing, and not, airy fairy, but literal, true literal peace. I want peace. I want others to have peace. I want us, our children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, loved ones, I want us to live in harmony and peace. That force alters time, matter. It shifts it. And so it's about coming in together in harmony with all of that. It's pretty weighty, but it's pretty important. The first thing from the unseen was they said, bold, brave action leads the way. It's time to act, to take action. And this is where astrologer Chani Nicholas, I loved this because her, let me just put my specs on here. Her mention for the full moon in Aries, and she said, this full moon in Aries needs you to be brave. And it speaks about bravery loves company. And so the unseen is saying, bold, brave action leads the way. It's time to act, take action. Bravery loves company, from Chani Nicholas, the astrologer. And she said, the full moon in Aries brings a burst of loud and headstrong energy. This attention-grabbing lunation reminds us of the actions we need to take and the courage we need to have. And because it forms a square, that's a frictional aspect, with Jupiter, it's extra big, extra bold, and packed with extra feels. So the intensity of things are amplified, magnified. And again, the energies play out. So while the full moon was on Monday, the 6th of October, these energies ripple out, they play out. And she concludes, so trust your intuition to guide you and get ready to make a move. This is the time for organizing and connecting with our communities around the things that matter most. This isn't about lip service anymore. This isn't about riding the fence. This is about taking action, bold action. That full supermoon was in Aries. It's the first sign out of the gate in astrology. So it's about being bold, brave, lead, these types of actions with, of course, discernment, soul source connection, leading, guiding the way, because it's talking about that bold, brave action leads the way. Not my way, not your way, not some way, the way. The way is going to be intuited. It's going to be known and felt. And then we take action. This also speaks to then the second thing from the unseen, and they said, the uncovering of lies. Truth revealed, laid bare. So again, this Aries supermoon, this bold, brave action that leads the way. They're talking about, the unseen is talking about the uncovering of lies. Truth revealed, laid bare. Exclamation point. So this brings about revelation. We talked about that in a show or two ago, where there's revelation also coming with this. And these are big energies. You sense the feeling of this, big energies moving. Well, it also brought about this awareness of the Eight of Wands in the tarot. And the Eight of Wands speaks to no more delays, no more circling the runway. The Eight of Wands is your signal that things are finally moving and fast. This card is all velocity, no hesitation. Whether it's news, decisions, energy, or emotions, something's coming in hot. The momentum you've been waiting for, it's here. And this is from tarot.com. This isn't the time to second guess. It's the time to go, to move, to act. Upright, the Eight of Wands brings rapid developments, green lights, and clear signals. Projects take off, communication flows, and that stuck feeling starts to dissolve. It's a rush of clarity and progress at long last. That was our number, where is it? Here we are. Yes, number 1 from last week's show, from the unseen. Set free to soar, to climb higher, You are liberated at long last. And so there's a release here. There's a movement and a release. And so it brings in this clarity and progress at long last. Expect swift outcomes, quick decisions, or even an exciting surprise. Just stay present. When life moves this fast, it's easy to miss the magic. In the most traditional decks, the Eight of Wands is one of the few tarot cards without a single person in sight. And that's the point. It's all motion, no distraction. 8 wands fly diagonally through a clear sky, often above an open landscape or river, symbolizing fast progress, clear direction, and momentum that can't and won't be stopped. The lack of obstacles, that's a visual green light. Whatever's in motion is moving smoothly. The river below often hints at flow and emotional alignment, while the slant of the wands shows purpose and trajectory. This card's symbolism is simple but striking. No delays, no drama, just go. So this is all about fast-moving communication, action, energy, with clarity, with discernment, with just knowing, and no obstacles. There's no one getting in your way. There's no one getting in the way. And just to bring up the image again, what you notice too is that the wands are alive. You see all the green shoots, which denotes newness, new life, new opportunity. So again, with all of these major, this Aries full moon, supermoon, and it's more than that, but that's the driving force. All of this is culminating. It's cascading and culminating towards the end of the year, but really the early part of 2026, this massive shift forward. And so this peace prevails. It's just a matter of time. Lion medicine. So now let's go to lion medicine. And this is so beautiful, and there's just such beauty and wisdom. So lion medicine. In shamanism and many spiritual traditions, lion medicine refers to the spiritual and symbolic power of the lion, which represents inner strength, courage, leadership, and personal authority. So you can see how the bold, the brave action leads the way. It's time to act. And this courage and strength and leadership, inner wisdom, the lion medicine, the Eight of Wands, this clarity, this fast-moving action, this personal authority. And lion medicine, it encourages you to step into your power, confront challenges, and act with integrity. So again, this isn't about burying our heads in the sand. This is about full frontal, face it, because look at the power, the wisdom, the uncovering of lies, truth revealed, laid bare, this bold, brave action. This is just about being in the flow and doing so from a place of inner strength, courage, wisdom, determination, fortitude. Lion medicine. When the lion appears as a spirit guide, it offers wisdom on several aspects of your life. Courage. The lion encourages you to face your fears and stand your ground, even when the path is uncertain. We often speak about, in this moment, we can't see down around the corner. It's not a massive floodlight. We're getting the next step. It's the light in the hermit's lantern. So we're taking the next steps, but it's that we know them. We know to take them. So when you know what to do, it's a knowing. Everything in you tells you to do something or don't do something. Heed the call, listen, and then take brave, bold steps into action. Lion medicine, leadership. As the king of beasts, the lion symbolizes royalty and authority. Lion medicine is about learning to lead with your heart and govern your own emotions and actions. It's not about controlling others. So this is about where we've got head and heart and soul, and everything is unified. 8, unite from the inside out. We've got this leadership ability. It's about personal power. This goes beyond physical strength and represents a deeper inner authority that comes from self-knowledge, from self-wisdom. It is a reminder to embrace your own strength and stop playing small. And that's a big thing. Where are we playing small? Where are we afraid to rise up and greet and meet that higher octave of ourselves, our soul self? Because that's where all the magic lies. That's where we expand. We knock down the walls. Aries, the ram, It's knocking down the gates and the barriers. 8 of Wands, no obstacles, because it wants to see what's before it. That's the air. That's the beauty of Aries, and we'll get to that in a minute with one of our astrologers. It's like there's this force that comes with Aries. They don't know any better. What they know, and Aries, that Aries energy, what they know is the entire world is before them. And how quickly, how much might I experience? Because that's all they know. And so there's such a, it's, for a Virgo, it's very like, wow, I can marvel in it. And then I also sit back and go, okay, well, you might have wanted to hesitate here or there. However, the moral of the story is the power of that innocence and entrepreneurship, like vision, like I want to go out and see the world. That's what this lion energy is also speaking to. Lion medicine speaks about protection. Lions fiercely protect their pride. This energy helps those guided by it to protect loved ones and defend what they hold dear. Boundaries. Lion medicine teaches you to own your capacity for aggression for the purpose of self-defense. It's about setting and holding boundaries to protect your life and all that you love with dignity. Boundaries are good. They're a good thing. Just make sure that the boundaries are they're fluid. They allow for discovery, for entrepreneurship, for vision, so that they're not simply self-imprisoned, self-imposed, where it keeps you isolated and imprisoned or stagnant. Nobility. To have the heart of a lion is to act from your core values and stay in integrity, radiating your light and creativity into the world. And the unseen spoke about, not hiding your light under a bushel basket. This is a time to shine your soul energy, your soul essence. What did your soul come to do in this lifetime? And to align with that and to radiate that light. And in the Aquarian matriarchal We the People era, that divinity, that sovereignty, when we shine that light, we're already receiving. We're doing it for the people, we, the people, all of us. And in reciprocity, I receive. The I receives. So how to embody lion medicine? Connecting with this powerful spiritual energy can help you on your personal journey. Trust your instincts. Listen to your gut feelings, your intuitive knowing, your wisdom, your soul source connection, and trust that your inner wisdom is guiding you. The lion's lesson is to take bold action when called to do so. Speak your truth. Find the courage to speak from the heart and express your genuine feelings and needs. So this is about speaking truth. This is about, the uncovering of lies, letting them go. Just speak truth. The truth speaks for itself. It's the most wonderful thing you'll ever do. Just speak truth. It resonates. It literally speaks to the souls of others. And likewise, when it's all BS, shadow, that too speaks. It's self-evident. Embrace your talents. The lion's presence is an affirmation that your unique gifts and dreams are possible. They're unique because they're yours. There's only one of you. There's 8.4 billion souls on the planet, but each one is unique. And thus, what's yours is yours. What you've come to share and shine and do is yours. So you don't have to fight someone else for it. It's already what's meant for you is yours. There's only one of you. It urges you to take pride in who you are and to generously share your talents with the world. Act with confidence, act decisively, and stand tall in your own power, even when facing adversity. And remember, lion medicine. It's the king of the jungle. You're the head of the pride. You don't have to roar to demonstrate your innate power, your innate strength and courage. Just be. If need be, roar. But you don't have to roar as a means to demonstrate courage or strength or power. Because lion medicine, again, it speaks for itself. It's innate and it's received. It's easily received by others. Lastly, the shadow side of lion medicine. When this powerful energy is out of balance, its gifts can become burdens. So it speaks to aggression. A misused or out of control lion energy can manifest as unchecked aggression, anger, and a desire to dominate others. This is what I was just speaking about. This is what the unseen is saying, is we don't have to be in this aggressive, oppressive, suppressive, out of balance state, because it also then invokes arrogance. A healthy ego is one thing, but an inflated sense of self-importance can turn into arrogance or a need for constant admiration. We see that on the world stage playing out. And last but not least is fear. The lion can also represent a threatening situation or unresolved emotions like fear. This calls you to address the source of this personal struggle. So very powerful. You can see this full moon, the supermoon in Aries. And then lion medicine. The unseen is bringing us lion medicine because this is high octane energies. It's also about high octane advance, these 8 of wands, this fast moving energy, this fast moving desire to move you forward. And to do so, from a lion's heart, from this beautiful strength and courage and fortitude and knowing. 3 from the unseen is magic in the making. Watch what happens next. So again, when we align all of these energies, when we heed the call, when we bold, brave action leads the way, and we act, we know to do so, and bravery loves company, from astrologer Channing Nicholas. Well, and the uncovering of lies and how the truth is revealed, it's laid bare. Well, it's all fast moving. And so which creates opportunity, magic. Magic in the sense, not spell casting, but magic in the sense of awe, wonder, synchronicity, like, wow, I didn't see that coming, or wow, I made that choice. I knew to do this. And look at the beauty and the ripple of what happens based on that. It brings me to number 4 from the unseen. This song, it's a song by Kelly Clarkson, but the title of the song, Piece by Piece. It's been playing out for months on end, the energy of it. Piece by piece. And they said, healed beyond recognition, you take flight, you soar. And this is speaking to, in conjunction with this, I'm going to speak, this is astrologer Pam Youngin's, her North Point journal. And it's speaking about Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer, and Eris, and she's the goddess of discord, and their conjunction. And so this piece by piece, healed beyond recognition, you take flight, you soar. So all of this it's about peace and healing and purging the shadow. Purging meaning facing it, dealing with it. Batman and Robin energies that are coming up to, confront the villains, to restore harmony and goodness and all of these beautiful positive energies to quote unquote Gotham City. So Pam Youngin's North Point Journal. Wounded healer Chiron and Eris, the dwarf planet of discord, align Wednesday. That's today, October 8th. This is the second of 3 exact conjunctions between the two. The first was on May 26, 2025, and the third will be on March 19, 2026. In essence, we are working with this influence from April of 25 through April of 26, but are likely to especially be aware of its impact around these exact dates. As Chiron and Eris align in Aries, we are quite aware of the harm caused by the shadow side of the ram. Self-centeredness, egotism, willfulness, arrogance, bullying, competitiveness, ruthlessness, and aggression. Painful truths are revealed, buried emotions come to the surface, and hidden traumas are uncovered. We may experience our own deep anger and resentment in response to what we observe now. Our challenge is to be wise and mature in how we express and utilize those feelings. So as all of this is coming up, it's like regurgitating it, it's coming up, we're facing it. It is about how our challenge is to be wise and mature in how we express. It's respond, don't react. It's how we respond and how we harness these feelings and these energies and how we process them and release them. It was our mantra from last week: own, atone, release. We can keep in mind that wounds must be exposed for healing and recovery to occur, and that outrage can be used to inspire productive action. So again, be mindful of when these things come up and how you respond. If you're reactive, check yourself. Think before you speak, write, text, type, because if it's going to be this vomiting of more shadow, then you're just contributing to the negativity as opposed to eradicating it. So work with this Chiron Eris conjunction, and they're spanning out a year, because piece by piece, it's foundational. Piece by piece, healed beyond recognition, you take flight, you soar. And so this is about healing, cleansing, peace. It's a matter of time, and how our bold, brave action, our bravery, our lion medicine within us is the key, is the way to achieve this and to stay out of the shadow aspects of them. Pam Youngins is also speaking about Pluto out of bounds. When a planet is out of bounds, its effects are exaggerated, unpredictable, and perhaps shocking. With Pluto now out of bounds, the desire for power and control is amplified. We undergo a deep process of detoxification, and what has been hidden comes to the surface. These effects are especially intensified this week and next due to Pluto stationing direct on October 13th. So it's been retrograde, now it's going to station direct. And so where we've been looking internally, when planets are retrograde, we look internally at things. Well, as they station and move direct, it becomes externalized. It's the things that appear, so they come to light. Things get revealed and that were hidden. And this uncovering of lies, truth revealed, laid bare. And lies don't have to be negative in a sense, meaning one could have told what we call white lies or simple lies, or, and thus they're revealed, they're corrected. There's also the darker shadow aspect of lies, where that was literally the intent. The lies was to really conceal and harm and so forth. Those two are revealed. And so you can see how these two, Pluto out of bounds and it's stationing direct, and how this Chiron Eris conjunction, these aspects astrologically, as above, so below, these are all playing a role in this Aries full supermoon energies and the energies moving forward. Now let's move to, I want to bring in our two aspects here. One of them is our keyword, and our keyword is time. Time, the continuous progression of existence that occurs in an apparently irreversible succession from the past through the present and into the future. A point measured in hours and minutes, past midnight or noon. The measure taken of a process, activity, etc., or a person doing something. The measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues. A particular period of seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, etc., during which something has been happening or is needed or available. A means by which we quantify the timeless. There's an aspect of time here. Peace prevails. It's just a matter of time. So matter and time and time. So this is in fast moving. Eight of Wands, fast moving action. Aries, Mars, all of this, it's fast moving. So this is a big wake up call to, get your S together. I'm not going to cuss, but you know what the S stands for. It's get your stuff together. This is about, taking stock, emptying the vessel, getting in alignment. And that can be easy. If you've been delaying, just procrastinating, delaying on, spring cleaning, doesn't matter what season it is around the world where you are. Spring cleaning can happen in the dead of winter. The point is to unlayer, unburden, align yourself so that when fast moving action, when that knowing comes, you're ready to soar and take flight. You're ready to act. You don't have to say to someone, or some wonderful offer or something comes in, oh, I'm sorry, I need 4 months to go through everything because, I can't. Well, that opportunity comes and goes because time, it's our key word, time, is an issue. And it's a matter of time. So do what you can each day, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever it may be, that aligns you with moving and progressing forward. Kiki is saying, I'm healed beyond the recognition of anyone in my past. Yes, because it's to allow this beautiful healing piece by piece. We're healed beyond recognition. You take flight and soar. Because then we realize once we move through the pain of something or someone, we get to the place, when you finally get to the place of gratitude, namaste, I bow to the divine in you. When we get to that place, no matter how challenging and difficult whatever we went through is or was, we're all characters in each other's plays. On a soul level, this is all about reciprocity. It's all divine. It's all neutral. And that is easily understood and accepted when things are pleasant and wonderful and positive, air quotes, positive. They are rejected and challenged when they are really negative. And yet, it's the beautiful fable of the master. Each time someone from the village said, oh, this happened, that's a great thing. And he said, is it? And then the next thing happens, and isn't that a horrible thing? Is it? The moral of the story is everything's divine and neutral, and it's up to us to see beyond the surface, the illusion, to get to the place where we're actually able to say, thank you. Because what they're playing a divine role for us to hone and polish our stone, our soul, so that we see ourselves better. We ascend, we transcend, we release things so that, again, we expand, we become greater, lion energy. We become more refined and more aware, more pure, and the wisdom gets ever greater. And so, yes, we can get hung up, 3D human, we can get stuck on the surface or what was done to us. And yet the real pearls, the real gold, the real wisdom, the gifts are below the surface, what's inside. And we often speak about, it takes an irritant, a grain of sand, an irritant to be invasive into the oyster to create the pearl. Without that irritant, no pearl is created. And so there's a beautiful understanding about that. 5 from the unseen. Ample opportunity to succeed. Divine timing plays its part, its role. You're not late, you're never late, you're right on time. So again, never feel like we've missed an opportunity. This point it's number 5, and it has to do with change and this movement, fluidity. So ample opportunity to succeed. Divine timing plays its part, its role. You're never late. You're right on time. And the more, again, we're in alignment and we're ready, the more like the Aries out of the gate, the more we're going to see, experience, feel, transcend in this soul's incarnation, in this lifetime. And that's the thing to think. Think about your soul. What did my soul say it would do? What did my soul come to experience? Wouldn't you want to work with your ego, mind, personality, human, to be in alignment with that, to get it out of the way, or to get it to understand that it's safe and secure, so that you experience the most in this lifetime. How amazing, what an opportunity, ample opportunity to succeed. There's a lot of growth and potential there. Our mantra is cause and effect. Cause and effect, the direct relationship between an action or event and its consequence or result. And the images of Newton's cradle. And this, for every force, for every action, there's a reaction. There's a counteraction to it. It's about cause and effect. So the unseen is talking to us about peace prevails. It's just a matter of time. The aspect of time, the aspect of matter, how they're altered, bold, brave action, but also this cause and effect, to be mindful about cause and effect. Because this is where, again, when we're operating in a state of purity and grace in the positive aspects of lion medicine, truth speaks for itself. Our inner strength and wisdom and courage and our heart, it all speaks for itself. We do not have to prove it to others. We don't need to shout it to others. And we certainly don't need to, become shadow aspects where that is, we run roughshod over others. Because then we're in the shadow aspect of lion medicine. This is all about alignment and the beauty of alignment. So now let's move to ethereal culture. This is Juliana McCarthy. She's an astrologer at etherealculture.com. And she's talking about the overview of the astrology of October 2025 and how hope peeks through fear. And Sue is just saying, I'm working on being the best version of me and pruning myself of my past. Yes, pruning. Look at any garden. Pruning is a beautiful thing because everything's purposeful. So no matter what action we have taken in the past, it's all about what we do in the present moment, in the future. How do we learn from it? How do we recognize that the choices we made in the past, no matter how harmful or horrid or bad or shadow, we're air quoting all of that, somehow it was purposeful. Somehow we evolve and it changes us when we choose that, when we allow that, when we surrender to our soul source connection. And then we recognize, I don't ever want to do that again or be that again. So let me change. Now, there will be those that don't want you to change. That's on them, not you. You simply continue to move forward in alignment with what your soul came to do, your soul source connection. It's true north, it's pure, it will always lead you in the right way. And thereby, that brings about ample opportunity. This magic in the making, watch what happens next. And it's okay, it releases us from the past. That's a gift we give ourselves. It's not incumbent on someone else accepting an apology or, coming along with us or anything like that. It's simply a state of grace. I am. This is where I am. I am moving this direction. Where you are is up to you. Where I am is up to me. So, Juliana McCarthy, astrologer, ethereal.com. The astrology of October 2025. Hope peeks through fear. October arrives in the aftermath of two powerful eclipses that have unleashed considerable upheaval, fear, and uncertainty. Because eclipses are all about fast-moving change, advance. This week's Aries full moon finally closes the eclipse portal, though intensity still resounds. Saturn returned to Pisces, it's retrograde right now, at the very last degrees of Pisces, and Neptune will soon follow. Structures continue to dissolve and reality feels shaky. Yet this unraveling also brings revelation. There's that word again. As Pluto stations direct, that's going to happen on October 13th, obscured truths and unfinished business are surfacing. The uncovering of lies, truth revealed, laid bare. And here's the image because it's so powerful. It's all about that shadow stuff. It's all coming out. More than ever, it's time to relinquish control and root into our internal anchors. This is about rooting into your soul source connection. Mercury in Scorpio opposes Chiron and squares Pluto at the start of the month. These are confrontational and frictional aspects. Thoughts and communication are challenged as our deepest wounds ignite. Fortunately, two potent configurations arrive in mid and late October, providing much needed gentleness and support. So while it's like at the beginning of the month, it's like ripping the Band-Aid off. By mid-month, there's some salve and bandages for us, like to soothe our wounds and so forth. But again, it's to remember that even these deepest wounds and the ripping the Band-Aid off is happening for us, not to us. So while it may be challenging, breathe through it. Just breathe through it, because in mid-month, we're going to get gentleness, much needed gentleness and support. On October 13th, Venus enters Libra, her mutual domicile, or her natural, domicile, activating a rare grand kite formation. We've had those in a couple of the previous shows and talked about the grand kite formation. In recent weeks, there's been significant divisiveness and relational friction, and now this configuration opens some space for renewal. A fresh story is emerging around love, justice, and connection. Here lies the potential for softening, forgiveness, and resolution. October is a month of integration, offering the chance to restore ourselves spiritually. A grand water trine forms at the end of the month, bringing ease and nourishment. So you see how in the middle of the month and by the end of the month, we're moving into a state of ease and grace, and it's water. So the soothing of emotions, and how we kind of come down, the cat's stuck on the ceiling and it comes back down and was like, okay, I can take a nap over in the sunny corner. Okay. So a grand water trine forms at the end of the month, bringing ease and nourishment. They flow together, supporting our hearts, healing, and emotional well-being. Amid the world's drama, grace begins to permeate, and a higher power feels ever present. This higher octave that we spoke in the beginning of the show, this higher power that comes through, that's ever present, and we're going to sense its presence, lifting our spirits and helping us find some sense of reprieve and repair. After September's turbulence, this opportunity for peace is a welcome relief. Miracles, agreements, and unexpected unions may arise, offering solace after conflict and fire. As we persevere through this arduous transition into a new era, October reminds us that even amidst the turmoil of change, we can connect and feel cared for and hold hope for what is still to come. And there's this beauty of the fact that there is all of this hope and beauty. Is this process painful? We talk about this a lot. Yes, bearing witness to the collapse of the Piscean patriarchal divine masculine era is painful. And we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and we do not demonize the divine masculine. It is the social term is the toxic masculinity. It's about the shadow aspect of the divine masculine, and where again we've, just like Mother Earth is 23.5 degrees-ish, give or take, off true north. Well, so imagine that, or correlate that same degree of shadow, that we have stepped away from the purity and the truth of the divine masculine. And that divine masculine is within all of us. Gender be damned. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter whether you're in a male physical body or you're in a female physical body in this incarnation, in this lifetime. We all have divine masculine, divine feminine, yin yang. They're meant to be in harmony and balance with one another. And so again, lion medicine, where am I in harmony, in alignment, in balance, or out of balance, out of harmony, in disunity with the divine masculine and the divine feminine? And bring them into, because the new is all about the unity, the balance, peace. Peace prevails. Peace is not just an external, peace begins within. Peace is about where am I in unity, unite, in unity with myself, with my soul source connection, with all that is. When I'm in harmony and unity, I'm smiling, I'm happier, I'm enjoying my life. Well, that energy, that light ripples out, and it's what you share with others. It becomes contagious. You hold the door open for someone. They hold the door. You pay, for the coffee for the person behind you. They pay for the sandwich behind them. It all becomes this, it's active and it's proactive. Energy, light, choice. So now let's move to, this is by astrobutterfly.com, Full Moon in Aries, the picture of Dorian Gray. And this will really make sense based on everything that we've been talking about. And let me just preempt for a second. Number 6, Spirit and Service. Number 6 from the unseen, shadow and light, the purity contained or held within each. Jump, release, soar. So remember, the shadow is, our ego, mind, personality, human, the shadow. We're not meant to kill it or eradicate it. We're meant to bring it into harmony, to harness the energies of the shadow, to bring them in, to purify them, to bring them into harmony and balance. So it's not about killing your ego or your shadow or the monkey mind. It's about bringing it into harmony and balance. So astrobutterfly.com, Full Moon in Aries, the picture of Dorian Gray. On October 6th, 2025, that was Monday, we have a full moon at 14 degrees Aries. Aries is the sign of individuality, the urge to say, I am, and to stand apart, unfiltered and unblended. The picture of Dorian Gray is Oscar Wilde's tale of a young man whose portrait ages and absorbs the consequences of his actions, while he himself remains youthful and untouched. The story revolves around Dorian Gray, who has his portrait painted by a friend, an artist captivated by Dorian's beauty. Fearing the inevitable loss of his youth and looks, Dorian impulsively wishes that he could remain forever young, and that only the portrait would bear the marks of age and experience. His wish is granted. While Dorian pursues a life of pleasure and self-indulgence, the portrait, hidden away from the eyes of the world, becomes increasingly twisted and ugly, reflecting the moral decay that Dorian refuses to acknowledge in himself. The more Dorian seeks to preserve his perfect image, the more hideous his hidden portrait becomes. Dorian was presenting a flawless facade to everyone around him, while his portrait got uglier and uglier. Aries, the baby sign of the zodiac, longs to stay forever young, a metaphor not only for resisting physical aging, but for holding on to a pure, unchallenged sense of self. This is the part of us that wants to preserve the I at all costs. That's why Aries and its ruling planet, Mars, are associated with boundaries, assertion, and even conflict. Aries is wired to defend the self, to fight against anything that threatens its sense of identity or autonomy. However, yes, and this is that aspect where once we realize, here's our ego, mind, personality, they're protecting us. That's what they believe. That's what they've been trained to do. What we fail to do, though, is to remember the purity and the autonomy of the soul. The soul crafts the identity, the personality, the physicality. It's the soul doing all of that. And so when we align, when we harness the power that Aries, I am identity, the ego, mind, personality, human, when we get that in alignment, in service to the soul, that's where magic occurs. That's where purity, peace occurs. Because then that yin yang, they are in harmony and balance with one another. And they know when to regress, okay, we receive, and then the divine feminine says, okay, let me step back. Now you, ego, mind, personality, human, lead, take action, do what you know to do. However, we become imbalanced when we fail to listen to that divine feminine, to that voice, your intuition. When we fail to harness the wisdom of the soul, and we just simply go out and bam, 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 when we're doing that, we're out of balance because we're negating what the soul is guiding us to do to stay true north, to stay pure. Pure is peace. Harmony. Disharmony is when we're not listening. So this picture of Dorian Gray, astrobutterfly.com continues, but is it truly possible to preserve an untouched identity in an ever-changing reality? Opposition is an essential part of life, an unavoidable stage in the individuation process. When we want to truly know the self, Aries, we must meet and engage with the other, Libra. See, they're polar opposites on the astrological wheel, Aries and Libra. And yet, the I and the we must be in harmony, in balance with one another. And the reverse is just as true. Understanding others helps us understand who we are and who we are not. Whatever we disown, deny, or dismiss will not go away. It will keep staring back at us, growing uglier and more distorted, just like Dorian's hidden picture. So when we fail to harness in the most pure and positive manner, in the most wise manner, when we fail to harness the wisdom of the shadow, and we try to ignore it, deny it, eradicate it, kill it, it just gets louder, it gets uglier, because we're not recognizing the purity of its purpose. It didn't come to harm us. It's come to refine us. It's come to quote unquote challenge us so that in the challenge, we receive the wisdom, the opportunity, the grace, the transcendence. When we fail to do that, our portrait, our self, gets uglier and uglier. We can see that bearing out on the world stage. The full moon in Aries is the moment Dorian is finally confronted by his portrait, the shadow, the reflection, the other side of himself he's avoided. At some point, the self must face what it has tried to separate or deny. So these truths, the uncovering of lies, truth revealed, laid bare. This, astrobutterfly.com is speaking to the fact that this Aries full supermoon is going to lay this all bare. It's going to bring it up, and it makes me want to kind of regurgitate. It's going to bring it all up so that we face ourselves. So be gentle with yourselves. Don't demonize or hate on yourselves, because that's not the point. That's not the moral. That's not the opportunity. The opportunity is to see what we've been doing. What have I been doing to myself? And then to consciously make choices to change it, to purify it, to liberate it, so that you soar, so that your soul soars. astrobutterfly.com. This is the moment of synthesis, the realization that true individuality cannot exist without reflection, and that our identity is not static. It's not a flawless portrait frozen in time. It is shaped again and again by our engagement with the world and with others. The journey to true selfhood is not about isolation or perfection, but about embracing all that we are, especially those parts revealed in the light of another's gaze. This goes back to what Sue was speaking to, that we're all players in each other's characters in each other's play, and they're playing a role. The danger, as Dorian learns, is in trying to exist as a self cut off from others. The path to wholeness is found in the ongoing, messy synthesis of opposites. And the unseen often speaks about the cloak of opposites. It's through the cloak of opposites that through the greatest challenge is the greatest reward. So this, in the opposition or the synthesis of opposites, it's about recognizing how that refines us when we allow it. The full moon in Aries offers us the opportunity to see who we are and who we're becoming through the mirror of relationship and opposition. So this moment in time is giving us issue of, do I like what I see? Do I like who I am? Do I like who I'm becoming? And if not, or if there are things that need to be tweaked, it's to be proactive about tweaking them, harnessing that, recognizing, facing them, and saying, yes, yes, I will release that. Yes, I will face that. Yes, I will unlayer and unburden this or that, whatever it may be. Spring cleaning. I will prepare myself for the greatness that lies in front of me. Because we're never the same person we were a second ago. We're ever changing. So, in conclusion with astrobutterfly.com, we are unique individuals, yet this uniqueness is not something static or fixed. It's constantly shaped by our interactions and our environment. Our individuality ever evolves. We are not the same people we used to be because every encounter, every relationship subtly shapes who we become. It's called growing up, moving on with the times, with all the resistance that change implies, especially for that Aries part of us that wishes we could stay the same. And this is why it's about embrace change. It is certain. There is nothing that remains static. Nothing, look at Mother Earth, nature. Nothing is static. It is ever changing. So the more we simply embrace change, the portrait becomes refined. It becomes timeless. It becomes beautiful, not uglier and uglier because we're trying to cleave to some image of something or to the past way of something. Again, we're seeing that play out on the world stage and how harmful that is because they're so afraid to simply let go and embrace the energies of the present future and to see how to be in alignment with them, in harmony with them, and where that takes you and who you become. That's magic. That's divine. That's greatness. The full moon in Aries reminds us that it's only by embracing both the self and its reflection that we become real. astrobutterfly.com is using the word real. I would suggest the word whole. That it's only when we embrace both the self and its reflection that we become whole. One. And with this, I would love to conclude with, it's a quote that Astrology by Lauren has used by Emile Zola. If you shut up the truth and bury it under the ground, it will but grow and gather to itself such explosive power that the day it bursts through, it will blow up everything in its way. So you cannot hold back time. Truth, so the lies, they come out because it creates its own pressure, its own weight, its own velocity and energy. And it becomes so great that it just goes boom and it explodes. And yet after the explosion, everybody readjusts. Everybody comes to a new normal. And last but not least, we're going to jump into hexagram 18. And this is by Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com. And Kiki is saying our enemy is our best teacher. Yes, because once we see that the enemy really isn't an enemy, it's a teacher in disguise, a cloak of opposites. And we're not stuck at the surface. And we move through and we get to that point where we can say, thank you, namaste, I bow to the divine in you. I see the divine in you. But so often we get stuck at the surface of, oh, how horrible, and you're doing this, and you're doing, and we fail to see the divine in another. What did their soul say it would do for us, for me? And they become a great teacher. Doesn't mean we become them or we condone something. It means that we recognize their divine role as we are in theirs. And then we move forward. Because again, where one soul is and where my soul is, they're two different paths. They can journey together, but they're not codependent. It's not dependent upon another to release or apologize, we can do that with ourselves. And this goes to hexagram 18. It's known as decay, remedy, repairing what's spoiled. Its hidden influence is 54, propriety, Mary and maidens, and to subordinate our will to the soul's will. And then its underlining cause is 17, follow, show by example, be led. And where following as the underlying cause suggested how one thing follows another naturally, in this situation, the old way needs to be overhauled if you are to be successful. Ego games and self-serving approaches will not work. Following old routines can lead to shoddy work and design. Whatever the situation, it is time to clear out the old and prepare for the new. Be inspired by the carbon cycle and how bacteria regenerate decay into new life. Nature is always in a perpetual cycle of renewal, of change, renewal. Decay is just a part of a larger cycle. Prepare and learn to offset it by not growing complacent. And this is our first quote. Wind over the mountain. One chisels away, the other inspires leaders. So this is about wind over the mountain, and mountains are formidable, but wind and natural elements and water, they all erode and sculpt and polish and change stone. So this is wind over the mountain. One chisels away, the other inspires leaders. And so this is about the beauty of inspiring yourself, which inspires others. Quote 2, work on what has spoiled. Afterwards, there is order. And you see the perfect order of this beautiful seashell and this cosmic, backdrop and everything. It's about the fact that when we work on what's spoiled, at 23.5 degrees off center, afterwards, there is order because it's true north. All of a sudden, Earth, we're back in harmony and balance and perfect divine order and balance. Routine can take on a life of its own, and over time, all things require renewal. This is where are we being stagnant? And thereby, there's a need for change. And last but not least is quote 3. Stagnation only exists while you avoid the inevitable death of the old way, the old self. So stagnation only exists while we avoid the inevitable death of the old way. We are ever changing. Life is ever changing. Nature is ever changing. Stagnation only exists and occurs when we try to avoid the inevitable. So to tap the future potential of something, you must come to terms with what must pass. If you are inspired by the laws of nature, you will be undaunted by the changing climate and merely set upon the task of reinvigorating renewal. This is all about getting in right balance and harmony and choose to advance, to move forward. Because peace prevails, it's just a matter of time. Bold, brave action leads the way. It's time to act, take action. Bravery loves company, from Channy Nicholas. The uncovering of lies, truth revealed, laid bare. There's magic in the making. Watch what happens next. So when we align and we empty the vessel and we purge the decay, the stagnation, there's magic in the making. Piece by piece, healed beyond recognition. This heals us beyond recognition. You take flight, you soar. And that has to do with the Chiron and Eris conjunction. There's ample opportunity to succeed. Divine timing plays its part, its role. You're never late. You're right on time. You're never too old. It does not matter your age. You are never too old to do all of this and to align and to begin anew and to inspire and reinvigorate. That's the beauty of life. It's what we tell ourselves. It's the truth we tell ourselves. And last but not least, shadow and light, the purity contained and held within. Jump, release, soar. Because the Eight of Wands, with all of this high-octane communication and movement and energy, we got to be ready Be ready to jump, be ready to go. So thank you all for your beautiful presence, your energy, your comments. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, purchase a intuitive consultation. And until next week, we will see where all of the unseen and these energies, as above, so below, where they are moving and guiding us. Until then, be well and be gentle and be kind with yourselves. That gentleness is, that wonderful energy is coming up mid and end of October. Until next week, we'll see you then.